and welcome to another episode of FooBar. Maybe you just arrived here because you just created an AWS account and put the credit card number and you're a little bit afraid how much they're going to charge you. You are a little bit terrified. You think about opening an AWS account, but you don't know how to do it because if they bill me $1 million, you might be afraid. In this video, I want to give you 7 tips, 5 of which you can implement like right now, being a totally beginner in AWS, to a little bit more advanced for my friends that are serverless friends. And I want to show you how you can keep an eye on your costs, on the free tier usage and how everything works. So you can go and put your credit card into the AWS cloud and create an account and start using this awesome system, feeling safe. The first tip might be obvious, but I need to say it. Go, explore, and understand the free tier. Which services are included, which services are not, which services are you planning to use? Are they in the free tier? How it works? And then bookmark that. That is a very important link. The link is aws.amazon.com/free. Bookmark it and have it as a reference so you can come back later. I want to come and explore the free types of offers that there are in the free tier. There is the always free services, and these are services that have always a free tier no matter the age of your account. Then we have the 12-month free, and these are services that have a free tier for those accounts that have less than 12 months. And then we have trials, and these are services that have 1 or 2 months or something like that of trial period for accounts no matter how old the account it is. If you keep on scrolling down in the free tier page, you will find a filter where you can filter by the different the different offerings, and you can see the always free, the 12-month free, and the trials, and see how they're allocating the free tier. So have this in mind, understand the services. You can search also for service, you can search for product categories, so feel free to explore this page and understand it correctly and bookmark it. Tip number 2, review your spend and your free tier usage. And this is sometimes a little bit scary if you're new to AWS, you don't know where to check this information. So I will show you. Open your AWS account, it can be your root account or it can be an account that has access to the billing console. And then go to this name that appears on the top of your screen. In my case, it says Marcia and the name of my account, and go to the billing dashboard. There you will see how much you are spending in that particular month. You can see a cake chart there, a pie chart that shows that I'm spending from the first of the month until today 29 cents in one service, because this is a particular account I use for backups. That is as free, but if you have multiple services, you will see the different services and how much you are spending in each of them. If you continue scrolling, you will see the spend summary. And this is an interesting graph because it will show you in each month how much you spend. And also in the green graph, you will see a forecast on how much you will spend by the end of the month. This is a forecast, so if you start using it like crazy in the last 2 days, this will go up again. And finally, if you keep on scrolling down, you will see the top free tier services by usage, and this account is in the free tier, so you can see that it's a less than 12 months old account. So you can see, for example, my usage of the 5 gigabytes of usage of S3 that you get in the free tier. I already went over it because this is a backup account. And you can see how I'm using the different parts of the free tier. If you click in View All, you will see more detail on the particular services, how much you have allocated, and how much you are using. So this is pretty neat, and this is how you understand how you're using the free tier and how you're using each of the services and how much it's costing each of the services as well. Tip number 3. Make sure that you are receiving the email alerts that AWS sent for the free tier. So how you make sure that you are receiving them or you have configured them properly? Go again to the billing and cost management dashboard. In the side, go to the billing preferences, and there make sure that you have ticked that box that says receive free tier usage alert. Make sure that the email address that appears there is the email address that you are watching, that you are checking regularly, so if anything happens, you are notified. Then, if you change something, save those preferences and you will start receiving that mail with your free tier usage. Tip number 4, let's get to do something and put a little bit of peace of mind in you when we have a cost budget. A cost budget will help you to allocate how much money you want to spend in AWS and receive alerts about it. So again, we go to the billing and cost management console and we create a budget there. And here we have different kinds of budget, but we are not going into the details. We are just going to create a cost budget and then we are going to give some parameters to it. The first thing we want to do is to put a name to our budget. We don't change anything. We leave it that it's monthly. We want this to be a monthly thing. We want to be a recurring thing. We don't want it to expire because, well, unless you are doing something in particular, you are changing the budget. But in this case, we want it recurrently. We want it monthly. And then we need to set up how much we want to allocate into our budget. And I will allocate $1. It's a fixed budget. Basically, this is not changing. And I will allocate $1. It's ridiculously. But if you are using or expecting to use only the free tier, if you go over $1, then something went wrong and you want to get notified. So $1 is a great number for peace of mind. For sure, if you're doing something that is not just fooling around with AWS, or you might be using some services that you might go out of the free tier, you will get a lot of alerts. So be meaningful and understand how much the services cost in order to set up this alarm. But $1 is good. You can put whatever number you want there. After doing that, now let's go and configure our thresholds. And the thresholds are the limits that we are going to get alarms on in this budget. So I will configure 2 thresholds, one for when we reach a certain part of the budget and then one when we have a forecast. So the first one is an actual cost of 50%, meaning 50 cents. When we reach 50 cents, I want to get an alarm to my email so I know that 50 cents were spent and I'm aware. Again, the number is up to you what you need. Then I can create another threshold, and this is the forecast threshold. If my forecast in some point of the month goes over 100%, I will receive a notification. And that's very handy because if we are in the middle of the month and we are already forecast to spend more than what we allocate, then we will receive a notification. Then we review our budget and we save it. And we will start getting the notifications whenever things are happening. The cool thing about cost budgets is that they will have their own dashboard, so you can go also and explore interactively what is going on in each of these budgets that we create. Tip number 5, if you have any problem, contact support. All the accounts in AWS have access to billing support. So go to support, to the support center, and create a case for your billing problem, your free tier issue. It doesn't matter. So don't worry about it. That's included in your basic support plan. Everybody gets it. So go create a case and ask your questions. Tip number 6, and this is for the more expert users maybe, and also for users that are planning to use AWS, this AWS account in particular, for experimenting, playing, or even for personal things that you don't care about logs. Be careful when you set up what I'm going to show you. It will change your log retention and the logs will disappear. Sometimes we need those logs, so we don't want them to disappear if we need them. So be mindful about that. But this is a great thing. I set it up in my personal account that I use for my website, that I don't care much about my logs, and other things that I don't care much about my logs in forever. So how AWS works, whenever you have any service, it will send logs, that sends logs, the logs are set in a log group that never expires. And this is done for safety reasons because you are the one deciding when your logs should expire according to your use cases. But if you have an account that is very old and you have been tinkering with services forever, you might pay a lot of money just for storing logs on things that they might not even exist anymore. So this is a great thing for your tinkering account, for your playing account, for your demo project account. Go and set your retention policies to expire after a certain amount of days. I set it up for 7 days because usually I check the logs when I'm doing things and then I don't care about the logs for experimentation. How you do that? Well, I will be using the SAM application repository. I will be using one application in particular that Lumingo created, and you can go and check the code. It's in the page. And the link for this application is also in the description box of this video. You need to be logged in order to be able to deploy this application. So basically you open that link and then you click deploy. And then you basically will set up in the amount of days that you want your logs to expire. And also don't forget to click that acknowledgement that you know that this application is creating IAM roles and all these kind of things. If you don't know what a SAM application repository is, I leave you a link with a video below so you can learn about it and understand what is this I'm talking about. But basically this will deploy this application, and whenever something is creating a new log group, it will automatically set the retention policy to 7 days. This is one of my favorite things. And tip number 7 is to go serverless. As much as you can, go serverless. If you don't know how to go serverless, continue watching this YouTube channel. There is a million things about it. But serverless services have an always free tier. Lambda has 1 million requests. Dynamo has like 25 gigabytes. API Gateway, Cognito, SNS, SQS, all these serverless services have a really amazing free tier, always free, that you can experiment, you can play. I think in my personal account before joining AWS, I was paying cents on my experimental account because I was just paying for as free. The rest of the things were free. I never reached the kind of limits of the always free tier for the serverless components. Serverless all the way. That's my last tip, and that's all I wanted to share with you. I hope you enjoyed this video, you learned something good, and now you are able to go and put your credit card in the AWS and create that account and feel safe that nothing bad will happen, only amazing things. If you find this video useful, share it with others so others feel less afraid of getting started in AWS. I'll see you in the next episode of FooBar. Ciao, ciao!